Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of PhoneRadar Talk. I am Karthik, and in this video we're going to be discussing about a couple of interesting topics which we covered throughout the day. So kicking things off, we have a news from Samsung, and this is yet another Samsung Galaxy Note 7 news itself. So there's no explosion this time, but yeah. So as you may or may not know, recently we covered about a recent explosion that happened in the US at an airport where a replaced Samsung Galaxy Note 7 again caught on fire, and it was a whole bunch of mess that happened. So this is basically a follow-up news on that. So just as I mentioned, it happened at an airport in an airplane actually. So it's basically following on that. So what happened here is the country's consumer safety group, that is CPSC, they stepped into this incident and they decided that if the Note 7 smartphone that exploded, if it's a replaced unit, then things are actually getting quite worse now. So, and it is now expected that the company might actually declare another recall. That had just happened. So the company just recalled a whole bunch of smartphones. They sold about 1 million of them, and they recalled all the smartphones just back, and it costed them about $1 billion or over that actually. And all the sales is stagnated. So if this happens again, that is yet another recall. If it happens, then it's just going to be a whole lot of mess for Samsung, and it's going to be a loss overall basically. So we just expect that it doesn't happen, and as of now it is not confirmed yet that whether the replaced that the device which exploded was a replaced one or not. But if it happens that the device which got exploded, if it's a replaced unit, then it is expected by various analysts that another recall might happen. So this is what we have right now. We don't have any confirmation on that, but yeah, so that's what we have. Moving on to the next news, we have actually interesting smartphone announcement. So basically this is from Ulefone. So they just launched two new smartphones, and one of them is called the Ulefone Tiger and the other one is called the U007. So that's the smartphone name. Anyway, so the interesting thing about this Ulefone Tiger smartphone is basically that just now we just saw about the Samsung Note 7 explosion, and this is basically like a referenced smartphone launch with that. So basically the interesting thing about this smartphone is that it comes with an explosion proof battery. So that is basically why I'm talking about the smartphone. So we have now reached in such a state that we have to actually buy a smartphone which comes with an explosion proof battery. So that's actually a feature that they're mentioning, and that's actually a feature which they're marketing these phones right now. So that's what we have right now. And as far the specification goes, this smartphone comes with an octa-core processor and 2 GB of RAM and everything. So you can check the links for more detailed description on that. And for the next news, we have a news from Google. So basically Google launched the two new smartphones, that is the Pixel and Pixel XL smartphones, and at the event they announced that these smartphones will be available exclusively via the Verizon carrier in the US. And another interesting thing to note here is basically if you are planning to buy these smartphones, if you are in the US and if you're buying to plan these smartphones via Verizon, then one thing to note here is basically that the system updates that's going to come to these smartphones will be handled by the carrier. So basically Google will not have any hand on that. So basically they'll just push the update to the carrier, that is Verizon, and Verizon will later on try to optimize it according to their carrier, the smartphones and locked smartphones, and then they'll launch it up to their wish. So basically you cannot expect these system updates to come immediately as soon as the company launches them. So that is what we have here. So if you are planning to buy this device, so we advise you basically that you should buy the smartphone from the Google store or the unlocked version, which will be available across the various retailers that is mentioned. So and as far as India is concerned, the smartphones will be available through Flipkart and other various retail stores like Reliance Digital and Chroma, etc. So you can check the links for more detailed description on that. And so last quick news, we have a news about an application which is basically the Prisma app. So we know that Prisma app has been there and it's quite successful right now. The app was launched last month or a couple of months back, and since then it has gotten a huge response both in Android as well as iOS platform. So we have a new update for this application now, and it has hit the iOS platform itself, not the Android. So Android update is going to come later on. They didn't mention anything about the time, but it will come soon. So basically what we are looking at here is that the application now supports video as well. So as you may or may not know, the Prisma application which was launched earlier only supported photos. So basically whatever photos you had in your gallery, or probably whichever photo you're taking via the camera, you can basically use the application to use the filters which can create an artistic image of the same. So that was not available for the video. So now this application also supports video. The only limitation here is that the video limit is limited to 15 seconds only. So you can't record more than that. So if you only 15-second videos recorded here. So that's what we're looking at here. As I mentioned, the update is available only for iOS and not the Android. So if you're an Android user, you might have to wait for some time. So stay tuned for more details on that. We'll definitely update. So that's it for today's news, guys. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and stay subscribed for more videos like this. I'm Karthik, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.